I've always been a bit of a loner. Growing up, my teachers flagged me as the quiet kid with social issues, the one who'd sit alone at lunch while others carved out their cliques. Middle school was a social hell I barely survived, and high school wasn't much better. I'm not dumb, just awkward, especially with girls. I didn't even lose my virginity until 21. A late bloomer, I guess. By 23, I'd finally carved out a life for myself. I'd landed a decent job, moved out of my parents' place, and bought a 2-story townhouse in my hometown. It was affordable, but impressive. Big windows, looping layout, the kind of place a guy my age could show off. I didn't expect it to become a nightmare. One day, swiping through Tinder, I matched with a girl named Sophie. She was pretty. Dark hair, sharp eyes, and our first date at a local restaurant felt like a small victory. I was in my head the whole time, second-guessing every word, convinced she'd see through my clumsy charm and bolt. But that night, as I sprawled out in bed, she texted, "I really like you. Tonight was fun." My heart did a flip. Ecstatic doesn't even cover it. We went on a second date, then a third, a fourth, and soon we were a couple. After years of striking out, I'd hit the jackpot, or so I thought. The honeymoon phase was a blur of giddy texts and stolen glances, but it didn't last. Sophie started texting me all the time. Morning, noon, night. "Where are you? What are you doing?" She'd ask, her tone shifting from sweet to snappy if I took too long to reply. One lazy afternoon on my couch, she grabbed my phone and demanded we share our locations. "It's what couples do," she said, her eyes daring me to argue. I wasn't thrilled. Privacy's my thing, but I caved. What did I have to hide? A couple months in, though, it got weird. She'd grill me about why I was at my buddy Jake's place instead of answering her. "You're ignoring me," she snapped through the screen. I brushed it off. New relationship jitters, right? Then came the night that cracked everything open. I was at Jake's, chilling in his basement with him and our friend Mark, beers in hand, laughing at some dumb joke. My phone buzzed. Sophie again, but I muted it, needing a break. Next thing I know, Jake's mom's voice echoes down the stairs. "Someone's here for you." Footsteps thudded closer, and there was Sophie, storming in, her face twisted with fury. "You're goofing off here while I'm texting you about the winery tomorrow?" she yelled, loud enough to make Mark choke on his drink. I stammered, "Can we talk later?" But she wouldn't budge, insisting I leave with her. Humiliated, I apologized to the guys and followed her out. We argued in the street, her wanting to crash at my place, me saying no. I drove home alone, heart pounding, and texted her a shaky breakup message. "I need space, Sophie. This isn't working." Should have done it face to face, I know, but I was terrified of her reaction in person. That unleashed hell. My phone lit up with calls and texts, pleading, then raging. When I stopped responding, the pounding started. Fists on my front door, the doorbell shrieking nonstop. I peeked through the blinds and saw her, wild-eyed, screaming. My neighbor stepped out, calm but firm. "Go home, lady." Sophie spun on him, shrieking, "He's a piece of wah," before finally storming off. I slumped against the door, ear pressed to the wood, shaken to my core. The signs had been there. Her clinginess, the paranoia, but I'd been too caught up in the thrill of being wanted to see them. The next day, I turned off location sharing, and like clockwork, she blew up my phone, furious I'd hidden from her. I sent one last text. "I'm sorry, Sophie. I'm blocking you. You're scaring me." She went quiet. No knocks, no calls. I thought I'd escaped. A week later, I was back at Jake's, shrugging off the unease with the guys. I got home late, around 11 p.m., still wired. I tossed some leftovers in the microwave and flopped on the couch, scrolling for a horror flick. Ironic, right? When the microwave beeped and the house fell silent, a faint click echoed from the dining room. My townhouse loops around, kitchen to dining room to living room to den, all circling a central wall. The den's got a door, not just an opening, and I'm obsessive about keeping it shut. I muted the TV, ears straining. Then it came again, the door creaking open. My skin prickled. "Who's there?" I called out, voice cracking. No answer. Grabbing a kitchen knife and my phone, I dialed 911, shouting loud enough for any intruder to hear. "I think my ex broke in. Send someone fast." The operator told me to get outside if I could. I bolted to the front porch, clutching the knife, and waited. A cop rolled up quick. We searched every inch of the place together. Closets, crawl spaces, even the tiny attic. Nothing. No one. He told me to call again if I heard anything, his tone saying he believed me. I ate my cold food, locked myself in my bedroom, and texted my friends about the scare. With no proof, I chalked it up to the house settling. Creepy, but harmless. Popping a melatonin, I crashed hard, exhaustion pulling me under. I'm a light sleeper though, and something jolted me awake. The room felt wrong. Too still. Too heavy. My phone glowed with text from an unknown number. Sophie, begging to talk, apologizing, then "Are you awake?" over and over. 8 times total. Bleary-eyed, I fired back. "Why are you doing this? It's over. Leave me alone." Before I could process her reply, a scream ripped through the room. "No!" And the closet door burst open. Sophie lunged out, knife gleaming in her hand, eyes wild with something unhinged. I scrambled out of bed, yanked the bedroom door open, and slammed it shut behind me, bracing it as she pounded and stabbed from the other side. The blade pierced through, inches from my chest. Panicking, I yelled, "Baby, I love you. Stop." A desperate lie to calm her. It worked. She softened, whimpering. "Why couldn't you just say that?" Still holding the door, I redialed 911 silently, stalling her with more lies. "I've been a mess, Sophie. I was going to take you back." She begged me to let her in, but I said I was scared, coaxing her to drop the knife. I heard it clatter across the room. Heart hammering, I flung the door open, tackled her to the floor, and pinned her down as she thrashed and screamed. I shouted my address into the phone, clinging to her, until the cops kicked my front door down, a deafening crash that echoed over her cries. They stormed in, cuffed her fast, and dragged her out, sobbing hysterically. I didn't cry. Shock numbed me cold. That night scarred me for life. The legal mess that followed was brutal. Sophie faced serious charges, and she's locked up now. I don't take any joy in that. She was someone I'd shared my days with, someone I thought I could love, someone who tried to kill me. Looking back, I hate how blind I was. Too insecure to trust my gut, too desperate to be seen that I ignored the red flags. This isn't just a story to me. It's a weight I'll carry forever. Getting it out, even anonymously, feels like unclenching a fist I didn't know I was holding.